Hey, welcome to Mad Dog's After Show. You're along for the ride with the Mad Dog and Cole, the Cold Coors Crusher, Farrell.
My wife cut my hair and it shows.
I decided to fly through the air and live in the sunlight and enjoy life as much as I could, and that's just what I'm doing.
Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure?
Man, oh man, what better way to start lap 104 than those inspiring words from the incredible Mr. Evil Knievel, flying through the air, living in the sunlight, and enjoying life. And man, hopefully we've all had a little opportunity to at least live in the sunlight and enjoy life recently.
Yeah. And the reason we get to do that is because of our first responders and the brave men and women of our armed forces could not do this podcast without their sacrifices.
Yeah, absolutely. And special shout outs to the families of our armed forces members, that have paid the ultimate price with KIAs and MIAs. Thank you so much. Veterans, huge respect. Thank you. And of course, huge shout out for our first responders working their asses off over there on your side of the mountains in Southern California and doing everything they can to save everything they can. Great job. We love you. We appreciate you for sure. While we're appreciating people, how about appreciating Kicker Performance Audio? They've been with us since lap one, and they are the best. You want premium audio, look them up online, kicker.com, on Instagram at Kicker Audio. Every other Tuesday night live on their Facebook, Kicker, and their YouTube channel, you will find the Kicker Unmasked live TV show full of little nuggets of happiness and knowledge and education and just fun. Be sure and check them out, kicker.com or on Instagram at Kicker Audio. Of course, Bomber Eyewear's been there since the start too. And we heard the incredible story. If you didn't hear it, tune back in to find the episode with Tommy the Bomber Bonacci and the founder of Bomber Eyewear. His mission to have the blue jeans of eyewear, and he has achieved it with over 40 frame styles, unknown at this point amount of lens combinations. Everything you could ask for. They're OSHA approved ANSI 87 safety lenses, and you can get those in even a polarized dark smoke like I'm wearing right now. You can get them in an amber, a tinted clear, mirrored blue. So many options. Check them out. BomberEyewear.com, on Instagram at Bomber Eyewear, and check it out in the end credits for your Mad Dogs after show discount code, bombereyewear.com. Of course, Assault Industries, Assault UTV, and the entire Assault brand of products, bringing you the most premium off-road product that you can have for your side-by-side, your ATV. I think they even do some snowmobile stuff. I know they do some trailer stuff. They do tools. Check them out. Assault Industries or assaultind.com or on Instagram at Assault UTV. They've got you covered. And I use their products and I'm hard on shit, and I've yet to have anything warranted. So check them out. Assault UTV on Instagram or assaultindindustries.com. Of course, the Premix podcast, our man Cole sharing his passion for all things desert racing through the lens of a camera, and also highlighting his incredible, beautiful voice at your events as an MC or announcer, you can slide into his DMs on Instagram at the Premix Podcast, get him scheduled for an event, or say, hey, were you at this desert race? Did you get any pictures? Or are you going to be at this race? Will you get pictures for me? Man, he does it all. He is a multi-tool of humanity for sure. And you can just slide into his DMs over at the @ ThePremixPodcast.
Wow.
Yeah. Meow, right meow. Do it right meow. Of course, Shutter and Whirl, handling all of our audio and video final production, can handle all of your still photos, photo shoots, anything you need from pre-production to post-production, whether it's video, audio, or still photography. Find them on Instagram at Shutter and Whirl. What a great catchy name too, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm stoked for them. So rad. And of course, Hey Geeks Marketing handles all of our social media, our website, MAddOG'SGarage.com, and all of our social media templates, business card needs, any artwork needs, anything you need from social media to websites. Yo, Hey Geeks. Or take the easy way out. Find her on the webs, heygeeks.com, or on Instagram at heygeeksmarketing. Man, that last episode with Clay Milliken was so good. I think we could have gone 4 hours easy, dude. He's so much fun, you know?
Oh yeah. Just good dude and high energy, and you can see why he's a top fuel master, right? Built into his personality.
Yeah, and I was thinking about some of the stuff he said, and like timing getting the chutes out with shutting the engine down, and hitting the timing lights, and what'd he say? It was a tiny amount, 14 feet. The chute strings are 14 feet long.
Yep. Yep.
So you have to time it for 14 feet, pop the chute, shut the engine down, start on the brake, hit the trap while you're still under the engine power before the chutes deploy. And you have to do all that within the time frame it takes of 14 feet at 338 miles an hour.
Yeah. You got to have some karate instincts to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's like next level alien stuff for sure.
I'd have trouble
you.
just figuring out how the line lock worked.
Right. If they just made it simple, I guess we'd all do it.
Yeah, that's
but
true.
You got to have Superman like Clay Milliken to do it. And man, I'm sure glad we were finally able to put that together. And it was sure awesome to have him on. And, we have had some really busy couple of weeks. You were out at A2 Supercross, weren't you?
Yeah. I was at A2 Supercross, and
how'd that go?
It was really good. I mean, it was. I even said something to my wife, and I wasn't sure why, but I was like, I'm more excited this year than I was last year. I don't know if I feel like there's a drought in motorsports or what, but no, I was just stoked to be there. And the rain was impending doom all day. It was cloudy. Watching the weather report, it was like, yeah, it's just going to happen. But we got lucky. It didn't start raining until halfway through the 250 main. So literally just 1.5 races to get through. And I couldn't have been luckier because I had about 4 feet of awning above my row of seats. Yet the seats in front of me were completely drenched. So I don't know. I'm just very grateful that worked out so well. But man, it was a great show. And I got to be honest, the 2 guys that won their respective classes were the ones that I was not rooting for. So it was a little bit of a nightmare there. But just glad to be back at the races.
Yeah, for sure. And it's, it often happens, as I've learned this year in arena cross, the guys you're rooting for don't end up on the top of the podium. So we're going to leave it at that. I may have a tizzy about that in a little bit here. Speaking of dizzies, Rob McDonald, what's up, buddy? Thank you for your comments. I'm glad you're enjoying the show, and I hope you're laughing your way all the way up to where they blow stuff up. Um, so yeah, good times. But yeah, man, that's I saw that a couple of hockey brawls broke out at Supercross.
Yeah, that was pretty good, and I think it's becoming more normal now. So maybe we're starting to get hockey rules down here for our motorsports. But yeah, that was kind of a weird one. The guy, I heard a radio interview where the guy explained why he started throwing punches, and essentially, like, he waited for his last lap to throw down a hot lap, and according to him, he got in his way. We weren't on the bike. The video wasn't very compelling to say that, yeah, he stopped your hot lap, but yeah, he had jumped off the bike and they started wailing. So I guess the funny thing was both guys knew that the AMA was going to come down and kick him out. So one guy was actually able to pack up and leave before the AMA got to him, but the other guy didn't get so lucky. And they're like, "Hey, you're kicked out, right?" And he's like, "Well, I was leaving anyway, so you didn't kick me out."
Yeah. Oh man, that takes me back to Reno 1, rounds
Oh
1
yeah.
and 2 of Arena Cross in 24-25 season. That'd be the AMA Arena Cross Championship presented by Kicker Performance Audio. Um, in practice, when my dude Akon, who's local dude, great guy, and just about one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet on a bike, um, was trying to lay down a hot lap, and somebody uh, did the same thing basically, but they did get in his way.
Oh, okay.
And so when they were coming off the track after the checkered, he was behind him and expressing his displeasure, and it turned into an all-out brawl, which I was up there with KP's dad and a couple other people on the mezzanine, and we're like, is that Akon? Like, nobody could believe it. It's so out of character for him. But, arena cross, I mean, you see that kind of stuff relatively common, whether you see it on the broadcast or whether it happens in the pits. You see it, it's a lot more common than you would expect.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, that just reminds me of a great story from the 90s, and it was different owners back then, so none of this is to blame, but some of the
Right.
guys, especially in the pro class, would be fighting, and the promoter would have to bring them in front of the AMA and say, "Guys, we can't have you doing that next week. Wink, wink. I would really hate it if you guys were running amok." So that was, it's nice to hear that there's a still arena cross spirit in arena cross, I guess.
There is, and it's kind of same though when being the only AMA sanctioned arena cross series,
Hmm.
um, they are subject to AMA rules, and both those guys got sent home, and there's AMA. I know that I'm very close with the AMA official um, for the arena cross presented by Kicker season. And, Bruce is a great guy, and he does everything he can to not be involved in outcomes of races. Um, and I know it was killing him. In what was it, Boise, where uh, Creasy and Brees both jumped on the red,
Yeah.
um, and both got docked 2 positions. Um, I know that was tough for him um, to affect the outcome of the race, but ultimately it was the right call. And there was a lot of drama afterwards,
Hmm.
but it boiled down to look at the damn video, guys.
Yeah.
And then when they looked at the video, the next go to was, well, I didn't see it. Well,
Right. Yeah.
you didn't see the red light and you didn't see the Red Cross flag.
Well,
Uh,
that was, dude, the flag was in the middle of a 180 corner. So you had to come down the straightaway, look at it, because that was your corner marker. And then you had the red light on the finish line too.
yeah, yeah, there was plenty of time for him to see it. Is basically yeah. So and as a professional motorcycle racer, it's kind of your job to see that stuff.
Yeah, and I don't know. It was just so funny to hear him. Literally in the arena cross broadcast, they were saying like, I couldn't see it, and it's like, well, there was no way to not see it, you know.
Yeah.
And he also claimed that it was right next to his head, but they showed like you almost had 4
No.
seconds on the clock of going around it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty funny. But that kind of stuff happens once in a while.
For
and
sure, heat of the
and
moment.
the point I was making was the AMA on the AMA Arena Cross Championships presented by Kicker are not quick to jump in. They don't take any of that lightly. They take it very seriously and look at everything they can, look at all the evidence. And you know, here we go again, like last weekend. Oh, by the way, I'm coming to you recorded from the less than spectacular Nugget Hotel Casino Resort in not necessarily beautiful, but beautifully surrounded Reno, Nevada, um, where we're here for Reno 2, rounds 8 and 9, which we'll get a little bit of that in just a minute. But last weekend, they had about a week and a half off, and then we went to the home of Kick Performance Audio, basically 35 miles away, 33 miles away, to the Lazy E Arena in Guthrie, Oklahoma. And arguably, there may be some people that argue it with me, but my opinion, the best dirt on the circuit. Um, just incredible, that red dirt. Uh, it packs up good. It doesn't really blow out, and it doesn't dry up. And that's, a big part of the drying up is kudos to the building people that start watering it a week in advance and turning it. But it grooves up, but it doesn't blue groove. Like it'll kind of rut up a little bit, but it won't blue groove, but yet it'll stay packed. It's
Yeah.
just crazy good dirt. And of course, being the home of Kicker Performance Audio, there was right about 300 Kicker employees and their families in attendance.
Wow.
Sold out plus were the words for Friday night as we wrapped the night down. And the racing was great. The results were much like Supercross with you, maybe not my favorite rider on the podium, but I had some really, really cool opportunities, and I'm so grateful for Kicker to have me as part of the team and have me out there representing them at these arena cross events, and to do it on the home court is just um, just that much more exciting, that much better. There's a lot more facets to it because you're dealing with trying to get things handled for a lot of people, and of course, stress about making sure branding's good and all that, and the last minute stress of being thrown into the live hit on the MAV TV live broadcast, which came out okay. I didn't actually sound that dorky.
Oh
And
no, that was your big shot now.
yeah, I didn't let it get to me, and I thank you and our listeners in the podcast for helping me and definitely encouraging me as I refine this part of the craft. How's that?
And you had
But
to do it with no sunglasses on either.
yeah, that was tough.
Yeah.
That was tough.
Missing your
But
bomber eyewear.
I did have my bomber eyewear on. I just didn't have them over my eyes. So I had them flipped like I normally do after it gets dark, just in case. And they are safety lenses. So when I was there for the start of Pro Main 2, I flipped them down because I was literally like, they started, they took off, they went around, came through the rhythm, and went around a berm, and I was getting blasted with chunks of
Ooh.
dirt. Yeah. Yeah.
But
So
at least it was good dirt, huh?
yeah, I have my bomber safety eyewear on for sure. but it was good dirt. It still didn't feel great. I
Yeah.
was like, I should have wore a roost guard.
Damn, that bad.
No, yeah,
Wow.
it was
That's
nuts. I was
exciting.
getting hit by chunks of dirt that were probably like half the size of your fist, and there was just no getting away. But I wasn't going to move because it was the best seat in the house, right? So, uh, it was really cool, and it was good racing. And going back to what we were saying about AMA,
No.
um, in the first main, it turned out that Vince Freezy cut the corner in the first main on the start, along with apparently 4 other riders. And I don't remember. I think that win in the first main went to Brees, but it might have went to Hicks. Hicks looked good, but Hicks was on a new program. He is on a new team. He is no longer on the Rock River Yamaha team. He has moved to a new team, and a good friend of mine is part owner of that team, and I was privy to that information a while ago, but wasn't able to share it. So, there big things happening there, and man, Hicks was fast for being on a bone stock bike. He looked good.
Mentally comfortable, I guess,
Yeah, and I think the stability of being on a pro team, the a more supportive team,
Mhm.
let's say, uh, because I understand it, he didn't have the package like Brees did with Rock River last year,
Gotcha.
so it was yeah. So he's on the Newell Research All Balls Yamaha Racing powered by EBR Performance team now, which is a big deal. And I was actually lucky enough to pick up the his new graphics that my friend had shipped to the dealership there in Stillwater.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. Yeah. We had actually, man, it was hectic, dude. I flew in like Wednesday, and kudos to American Airlines. They got me in great. Everything went good. Not so much on the way home, but it is what it is. And, I got in Wednesday, went straight to Kicker. I had some work to do there. Which lasted into the evening, checked into my hotel up in Guthrie, like 40 miles away. Uh, Went in early Thursday morning and got the Kicker booth all dialed in. Got all the base stuff set up and looking good. And then had to drive back to Kicker for the photo shoot meet and greet with the underdog, Al Bitterman, and his team as we celebrated the beginning of the back half of the season with Kicker branding on Bitterman's bike for the rest of the year. Rest of the season.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What dreams are made of.
Right? Super cool. And I think it was extra cool for him because he'd never been to Kicker World headquarters.
Oh,
and
nice.
so, they had him ride. He wasn't quite sure. And of course, the museum and entry is pretty impeccable. It's pretty impressive. And he was like, they were like, oh, could he ride in? And J Dub is there, I'm there. And we're like, heck yeah, he can wheelie in if he wants, So that was super cool. And just he got the full tour. They shot a bunch of content, which they used some during the live hit that I did, which was great. I mean, they did a good job with that. man, just having him there at World Headquarters and seeing the kicker logos on the fairings, uh, pretty dang cool. I was pretty proud, you know.
Yeah.
And of course, he's still fighting, you know, the thumb thing, or still recovering from the thumb surgery. He ended up 5-5 for both mains. So, you know, good shot on him, or maybe 4-5 for fifth overall, fourth overall for the night. Because going back to the race in the first main, Greasy got dock tooth positions. And so he was for cutting the start. And I know the AMA guys were like, oh man.
Don't want to do
But
this.
yeah, they had multiple angles, and I mean, it was plain as day. So, you know, it's like, if you're gonna cheat, you're gonna get caught. I was surprised that no one really put the muscle on Freesy as much as I expected them to. But we're in Reno now, and you know, I think there were some guys that were just trying to survive that track. It had bigger obstacles than we've had all year. The biggest finish jump we've had all year, uh, which will now be surpassed tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there's some big obstacles in Reno for a little track. But the other thing is, notably, it is the biggest track we hit of the year. So, you know, we're running Loveland, Colorado, the race before, we were running like the super fast guys running 23.99s, 23.98s. The super fast guys at Guthrie were running like 54.9.
Wow. Jeez.
So,
It's like a different
yeah,
sport.
yeah, it's, you know, and a lot of guys were running low 55s. And when I first saw the track, I actually put my dollar into the pool for our pole sitter to be Politelli
Mm-hmm.
at a 54.8. So I missed it by a full second.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I got smoked, but, you know, it is what it is. But, you know, really, I think everybody that was in the pool was up in the, you know, 55s, because that's what we expected, you know, and then Freesy punched 54, um, and then Hicks punched 54, and Hicks actually had the fastest time till the very last lap of practice. And I watched that lap, and I mean, Freesy laid it down
Mm-hmm.
as hard as he could. I mean, he was definitely, you know, hanging it out to get there, and he did end up beating him by a little bit. But holy cow, there were probably three almost crash. I mean, he was
Oh,
borderline
really?
out of control. Yeah. um, and
That's fun to
so,
watch.
yeah, and now, you know, it's out in public knowledge. You know, when I said Brees didn't look himself, he looked out of sorts in Loveland. He's fighting a knee injury.
Ooh.
So 54-second laps, 55-second laps were not his friend last weekend for sure. But man, it was exciting racing. That dirt track's so big, and sold out crowd, sold out plus. So
Oh,
over
that's huge. Good.
5,000 people. Yeah.
Wow, that's really good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's massive for, you know, an arena cross, especially at the Lazy E, because that's the biggest arena we go to.
Man, you're making me jealous. You guys need to come back to Ontario, California. That's the closest arena cross we've ever had.
Yeah, there was actually we had a discussion about being out west, and actually specifically California with the coordinators. Last week, I had a discussion with them, and originally they had tried to schedule around in California, undisclosed location.
Mhm.
but the state is just not friendly
Not easy
for
to
it.
work with. Yeah.
Not at all. Between the EPA regulations, um, and arena regulations and state regulations and county regulations, and it didn't make, you know, sense at all. Some of the ridiculousness that the state was requiring um, for insurance coverage and stuff like that. I mean, we're talking ridiculous amounts.
Wow.
So,
That's disheartening.
yeah, it just wasn't, um, hopefully maybe we can get one somewhere in Arizona that's a little closer, although we got Prescott Valley next weekend, so that's still a haul for you, but
Yeah. Was there anything in Laughlin? Is there any? No,
yeah,
arena.
I believe there's a arena at Harris in Laughlin.
Well, there we go. I just solved the case.
And I think there's one actually at the RV in Bullhead City.
That'd be all right. That'd be okay.
So that'd be all right too. Yeah. I would love it. That'd be so rad.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, but yeah, it was a great weekend of racing. It was just busy, 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 and crazy. And then home for, a couple days, and unfortunately I had some flight issues. And I'm going to burn American Airlines right now because I understand you're in a one horse town in Stillwater. You've got one microjet um, that comes in and goes out twice a day. I get all that, but you think you'd have enough fuel on board when you just fueled in Stillwater to be able to make a reroute around a storm. But no, they didn't. They didn't have enough fuel to be safe to go around the storm that Dallas told them they had to go around. So they had to add more fuel. Normally wouldn't be a big deal, but the fuel truck was empty.
That's such a bummer.
Yeah. So as I watched the minutes slipping away from my connection, keep in mind in Dallas, I have to go all the way from the furthest E gate to an A gate um, to make the connection. And they ended up, apparently, the fuel station isn't on site for avgas because that'd be too easy. So the fuel truck had to go 10 minutes down the road.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Unreal.
And 10 minutes back. I know. It was like just a total comedy of errors. I'm like, well, I I guess I'm not going to make my connection. So fortunately, I was able to rebook a couple hours later, but
But it was a couple hours later.
it was a couple hours later and it was already going to be a late in. And I ended up getting home and crawling in bed right before midnight. So that made for a long Sunday for sure.
Yeah.
But, a couple days off, try and get things done. And then back at the airport and off to Reno. And,
Beautiful Reno.
yeah, the incredibly less than spectacular Reno. The biggest little city in the world, they say. Okay,
Why not?
keep saying that. Yeah. But they do have, it's the second best dirt in the series. I love the building crew here that manages the building. The track that they are building for this weekend's races is sick. And it should make for some really good racing. They're starting. The track is completely different than anything we've done in Reno in the last 8 years.
Cool. That'll be exciting.
Yeah, so they're starting in a different spot. They moved the pro pits up to the mezzanine,
Okay.
which is really rad because the
No, that's
fans are
cool.
going to be like like nobody's going to be hiding anything, right? If they're going to fist fight, they better fist fight outside between the exit and the entrance to the pro pits. So uh, should be interesting. Hopefully, there's a lot of action, um, and you know, we'll see. I mean, it's should be good. It's
All
looking
right.
good. I know the I know you know, we've been saying this now, but I really believe the gloves are off. And as a sidebar, you and I talked about this before from Loveland, before the races in Loveland, right? We talked about Peters being out and the gloves are off and people have been riding scared and
Yep.
freezing. You and I covered all this, and all of a sudden I noticed in the last week that all these other media sources,
Yeah.
including Arena Cross and some podcasts, it's almost like they listen to us
Yeah. I mean,
and
I
said
with
the same
confidence
damn
today.
thing.
Yeah.
It's like
Like when
it's
I saw
like
it on the Reno Cross podcast, I'm like, yeah, thank you. That's what I
yeah,
said.
yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, we didn't get credit, but we
Whatever.
produced that back in first weekend of January, right? So
I
it's
mean,
like, come
we
on, people.
throw enough theories out there, we're gonna get one right once every
Well,
3 years. That's fine.
I think we're right. I think we hit it on the head. But I find it interesting and somewhat irritating that all these sources now are like had listened to what we said, and now okay, they have a bigger audience, and fans, don't let them get away with this. Build our audience. Get us a bigger voice. We're relying on you, fans.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Why aren't they using our podcast instead of the one that I won't name that I couldn't believe was on the broadcast?
yeah, it's like, come on, you
uh,
know, we're obviously a lot more vested in the series. We're a lot more well spoken.
Lauren's on the ground at the races.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boots on
Why
the
not
ground.
use this instead of just copy us? Like plagiarize someone else, you know?
Oh,
We just
well.
got rid of a politician that was plagiarized everybody. Don't be next. Like come up with your own ideas. Don't be afraid to be wrong just because we're right.
Listen, maybe that's why you got a TV segment was to like, hey, apologize in advance, but we're going to
Yeah.
take your theory.
Yeah.
They're not
Maybe.
dummies.
I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, man, I am so excited for this weekend. It's gonna
Should
be
be good.
good. Yeah, really looking forward to it. I hope, and I don't know this, I wasn't able to confirm this today, although I did ask the question straight up, but I did not get a straight up answer. If Hicks had more motor this weekend, because he was fast and and out front even, but I mean, a 450 race motor against a 450 stock motor. Eventually, if you have equal quality of riders, the race motor is going to win, and it did.
Gotcha. Yep. All right. Fair enough.
I don't think there's more talent. I think he's got a better program. I think
Just
that race Honda is a better program.
can appreciate that.
So now, do I think that the Newell All Balls team will be? I think they'll give him the weapons this weekend. I hope they give him the weapons this weekend. Um,
There we go. And
because
cut that for when he does good. And then be like, oh, look, they called it first.
yeah, right.
All right.
It's dude, it's we only have 5 rounds left. We've
That's
got
sad.
Reno 8, Reno 9, Prescott Valley 10, Prescott Valley 11, and then the AMA Arena Cross Championship presented by Kicker Championship night, February 28th, Ocean Center, Daytona Beach, Florida.
Okay, I have an idea for Daytona.
All right.
and maybe this will get cut and put on the broadcast. But so last year there was like crazy beach sand, right? And
Yes.
like packed radiators, chaos ensued, bikes broke. Going to cost some money, but I think we put double the sand this year.
Ooh, I'm all for that.
War, just beach
Oh, yeah.
race war in the Ocean City Center.
Dude, that'd be sick. That would be rad. I know the riders would hate it, but you know,
Arena cross, not easy cross. So
yeah, get
here
on the
comes the
bike and ride,
sand.
right? I mean, and last year, realistically, that was looking, that was a key pivotal moment in how the points ended for the year.
Yeah, it was
You know,
what's the word I'm looking for? An X factor. It was a gosh, there's something good. Anyway, move on.
yeah. Well, and the fact that they ran 3 last year was definitely affected everyone. You
Mhm.
know, I know that the underdog uh, in the third race was actually running one of Peter's race motors on loan because
Wow.
he didn't have any left, you know.
Jeez.
So
Yeah, that's pretty nuts. I don't know. It was just cool. It was a good test for the teams and the riders, but you know, it sucks for equipment to prematurely wear out. But I don't know. It's pretty entertaining to watch.
yeah, I would agree, and hopefully this year, you know, it's only one round, so hopefully like they throw it all at it.
More
Um,
sand. Yep.
more sand, you know, and they've been getting progressively bigger on the obstacles, on the whoops.
I noticed
Uh,
that.
yeah. So their goal is to have, you know, massive stuff. Like Oklahoma, there were supercross riders there that said that the whoops were bigger than supercross whoops.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, that's
They were like,
by a lot.
holy
Yeah.
cow. Yeah, like by a lot. And so, you know, it was cool. So um yeah, man, I think that's, you know, pretty much the recap there. Uh, um, everybody now knows where the rest of my month is, and you know, we're straight from Arena Cross Season Championship to American Flat Track Pro Racing 1 and 2, Daytona Short Track 1 and 2. So I'll be down there the whole time.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, well, they're less than a week apart, so
Perfect.
I
All
have
right.
a lot of work to do in a very short time. But yeah, I'm excited to get the American Flat Track season started. Our good friend Scotty Dubler, check
Yep.
him out over on Instagram at Off the Groove TV. Has his thumb on all the new silly season, if you will. Riders with new rides, new guys going to Super Twins. Um, yeah, there's a lot of jumping around, and it's going to be good. It's going to be really good.
Good.
So I'm looking forward to that. And you know, other than that, the one other thing I have is a super crappy rental situation. Um, Now, that being said, in Oklahoma, I didn't have a rental because I flew directly into Stillwater, so I got to
Big shot.
use,
Okay.
yeah, one of the I think those are Chrysler Pacifica
Uh
Sport,
huh. Okay.
like minivan.
Yeah.
Um, but they're comfortable. They're nice.
Yeah.
It's loaded with kicker premium audio.
Oh, that's
The
cool. Okay.
systems is sick. Uh, so I was bumping everywhere I went and comfortable. Um, I get here and have the most basic of all basic Nissan Ultimas.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm surprised it has cruise control.
Those will get you some looks.
And
They have a
it's,
stigma.
of course, fleet white.
Ew. He probably looks like
Yeah.
a cop.
Yeah. it's ridiculously uncomfortable. And I don't know what engine's in it, but it is gutless. And, it's the cloth interior. The ergos are less than desirable. Yeah, I wouldn't buy one. Nissan, if you're listening, you could do better. I've driven some of your stuff. You could do better. That thing is a shit box.
Bringing the company down.
Yeah, sorry. They don't make dirt bikes or street bikes, so whatever.
Yeah, I don't think they were calling this week anyway. So I think we're all right.
Yeah, I don't expect to hear from them anytime soon, especially after that.
Unless
But,
we're going to run Nora in one of their old trucks, then we'll give them a
yeah.
what's up.
Well, Nissan or Toyota?
Well, prefer Toyota, but
Right.
we're Toyota taste Nissan money over here. So
Right. Yeah. Well, we could just rent a bare bones Ultima and race Nora.
yeah, let's put that durability to the test.
Yeah. I mean, trim the fenders out, put some 33s on it.
They'll trim
Go for
themselves.
it. Yeah. I was thinking about that the other day when I was sending you all that Nora info.
Yep.
And I was like, man, that old Volvo 142 I built back in the day, I wish I still had that race car.
Man, that'd be awesome.
Because that was a full cage car. Could have added a second seat, more of a dash, and it was a full 5-link rear end with a Ford 8-inch rear end.
Wow.
And upper and lower control arm front. So, I could have, I mean, 3 or 4 inches of lift in 33s wouldn't have been a problem.
Man, that'd have been so fun.
It would have been. So,
I don't know. What about a 240 DL?
Oh, I would, yeah.
All right, perfect. All right.
I would love to do a 240 DL, a wagon, an estate.
Well, yeah. I was gonna say that the sedan's probably got a little bit shorter wheelbase, but for the birds, we're taking the wagon.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. One of I can't remember who it is, but somebody had one that they did a couple of Gambler 500s in.
I've seen that. Yeah, that thing.
Yeah,
it won't die.
no, they just keep beating the snot out of it and just keeps going. So, that's an endorsement for classic Volvos. If you're a dealer in classic Volvos and want to support MAddOG'S after show bid for Nora 1000 2026, hit us up.
We know Nick Rutland, so kind of Swedish tied in.
Right? We got the Swedish link. Well, and you're Swedish, so
yeah, but he's done stuff.
You've done stuff.
Oh, thanks.
You're the Swedish saber-toothed tiger.
He's done more.
Correct. He has done more, for sure.
Right.
I'll give you that. So with that, man, I think we should wrap up and give everybody a treat of having a short episode after a 2-hour episode. Although when I started listening to that episode with Clay, the last episode, I couldn't stop.
Yeah.
Well, and
I say next time we let you guys start in the morning and see how far you go.
Dude, that would be dangerous.
Hey, content, baby.
Yeah, all content. It'd be like a 6-part mini series.
That's funny.
So with that, man, I want to be sure and thank, all of our first responders, and especially all those first responders busting their ass in Southern California. Thank you for trying to help everybody they can. It was a horrible situation created by, unfortunately mismanagement. And, I'm going to cut it at that. But they, put their life on the line 12 hours a day, 24 hours a day, whatever it takes to try and save everything they can and protect everyone they can. So super shout out. And Reno, the Reno Arena Cross race is actually doing a really cool thing for first responders. and you show proof you're a first responder, they give you a free general admission ticket.
Oh, that's huge. Nice.
Yeah, I think that's rad and a great step for the really class act for the AMA Arena Cross Championship Series presented by Kickers. So, yeah, of course, all our military, past and present, thank you so much. Of course, our great sponsors and partners, Kicker Performance Audio, for all your 12-volt audio needs or personal audio needs. Get that premium touch from Kicker Performance Audio. Find them online, kicker.com, on Instagram, at Kicker Audio, on Facebook, Kicker, every other Tuesday night, 7:30 Central, their live TV show, Kicker Unmasked Live, on Facebook or their YouTube channel. Special shout out to my dude Colin from Kicker, the social media guy. We had a great time in Guthrie, spent a lot of time together. Always fun to hang out. And, you know, it was awesome. Of course, Bomber Eyewear, Bomber Safety Eyewear, Bomber Floating Eyewear, Bomber Polarized Eyewear, whatever you need. Bomber Eyewear has you covered. Find them online, bombereyewear.com, on Instagram, at Bomber Eyewear. Check out over 40 styles of frames, and I don't even know how many lens combinations, but everything from safety glasses to floating polarized sunglasses, Bomber Eyewear has you covered. When you get your cart loaded up at bombereyewear.com, enter that discount code MAddOG20. That's right, Mad Dog 20. Let them know the Mad Dog sent you, and they'll take good care of you. BomberEyewear.com. Of course, Assault UTV, ATV, and off-road products. Check them out online, Assault IND, like industries.com, assaultind.com, for all of your super awesome off-road accessory needs, tool sets. I love their tool set, riding apparel, about everything you need for your off-road vehicle, whether it's a buggy or a UTV, ATV. Check them out. Assault has you covered. You can find them on Instagram at Assault UTV or their website, assaultind.com. Of course, the Premix Podcast. Cole sharing his love for all things desert racing through the lens of a camera. Slide into his DMs on Instagram, the @ symbol ThePremixPodcast, and get him lined out. Find out what races he's going to be at. He'd be happy to shoot your rig for you. And man, I was looking back on some of your moto stuff. He did such a great job, such a great eye. Like being a racer and a bike chief, crew chief, it gives you a whole different perspective of ways to shoot. And you can all check it out at
the Premix Podcast on Instagram and Facebook.
Yes, do it now. Of course, Shutter and Whirl handling all of our audio production, our video production, getting our videos up for our YouTube channel, which we have changed to Mad Dog's After Show, Mad Dog's AFTR Show. You can also find it at Mad Dog Media on YouTube. Hit us up. We've got a lot of good content there, thanks to Shutter and Whirl. For all your video and still photography needs, from pre-production all the way through the process to post-production, find her on Instagram at Shutter and Whirl. And where would we be without Hey Keeks Marketing, working on all our logos, working on our Mad Dog Media website over there at MAddOG'Sgarage.com, getting our Instagram templates done, laying stuff out for us. Anything you need, whether it's a website built, a website maintained, social media built, social media influencer campaigns, you can find her at heykeeks.com We're on Instagram at Hey Keeks Marketing. Dude, whew, do the speech.
Hey, make sure to rate, review, and subscribe on your favorite streaming platform.
You aced that so well.
You snuck up on me around the corner, but caught it.
I'm gonna add one more thing because I'm gonna plagiarize since everybody's plagiarizing us. I'm gonna plagiarize the great
boy.
Scotty Dubler and say, folks, smash that like button.
That's a good one. I like it.
Yeah, I like it.
High side right into that button.
Yeah,
I don't know. Didn't
for
work.
sure. I love it. With that, man, God bless our troops. God bless our first responders. God bless our veterans. God bless you, our listeners. God bless America. Mad Dog out.